Virginia, so we would travel there a lot too. So, but yeah,
that's awesome. Now, with you being so connected to the Philly music industry, what would you say? How would you say it's changed since back in the day when it was concerts every weekend, and versus now, where it's more like unless somebody like you is like really putting forth the effort to have something big, nobody's really doing anything big.
Yeah, I learned that if anything's going to happen in the city, we have to be the ones to do it. That's what I came to the realization of Philly. It's like we breed the greatness that goes out. So those that are still here, we have to create something, you know. But it's really, really different. My first, because growing up in our home church, we were kind of sheltered, to be honest. It wasn't until I started singing with Jehovah's Chosen, which gave me a bigger picture of gospel music, and I was able to be a part of the stuff that was going on, and that was when I was in high school. It has changed a lot. It used to be, I used to be like, oh my God, if I could just be on that. I always felt like I'm supposed to be up there, it's a different day, it's a different time. I mean, there are things going on, but it's just not a whole lot like it was. And I don't even think it's as successful as it was back in the day. The stuff that are that are happening now. So, I don't know. I think I think about it the same way I think about how like family morals, family standards, they start to dwindle. Like I've noticed, they start to dwindle like when parents get younger, and they don't have those same standards. I think about our kids, like they just don't have the same standards because they don't have, like, a lot of times there's no father in the house, like there's no structure in the house. So I guess, I don't know, I feel like maybe, it's just getting younger and the mentors aren't really passing anything down to the younger generation of musicians and artists.
I think that's across the board too. Even with preachers, like back in the day, you could trace every preacher to like a bishop and to a covering. Like every artist came from this church, and like you could trace everything back to something legit. Whereas now it's like I can be a preacher, I don't have a bishop.
Right.
And it's cool. Like, I'm cool.
I'm just out here.
Like, I don't answer to nobody. I'm just out here. And I'm an artist. Like, I don't even lead praise and worship at my church, but I'm an artist.
Right.
It's just like,
what? I have no covering,
Yeah, like, I don't have a covering. You know what I'm saying? I'm just out here, you know what I'm saying? I'm charging.
Right.
Somebody charged my wife $500 for a praise and worship set. Like, for like a regular service. It was kind of like, I get it, but then I don't get it. It's like, why are you charging $500 to do praise and worship at another church's service? And it's not even that deep. It's not like you're bringing a whole band and tracks and stuff like that. You're just coming in with their band and just...
Oh, no.
Yeah, like, yo, we doing Lord, You're Awesome. I mean, stuff that you...
Oh,
you know
no.
Saying? Like, I don't know. That's just...
Yeah,
that kind of rubbed me the
different.
wrong way. But I'm like, that's the type of stuff that happens in this generation that would have never happened back in the day. Where they'll bring a whole choir for the love.
Okay. On the strength. Like,
you know what I'm saying? Like, you got chicken downstairs? We there.
Right.
Now,
absolutely.
Cats playing 3 keys and they went a stack.
Oh, child. I'm telling you. Yeah, like, it has changed drastically. Like, this tremendously has changed.
Somebody had put a post up about that particular thing, and I had commented. I think a lot of it too, especially as far as musicians and their asking prices or whatever, I think a lot of that had to do with the previous generation being so willing to give, and it kind of turned the younger generation off because it was kind of like, well, You know what I mean? My old heads would do a whole convocation for $50. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I think some of the older guys kind of feel bitter now because they kind of wish they could have spoke up and been like, you know what? I think we deserve to get more than this for doing all this work, or you know what I'm saying? Whereas nowadays it's like I'm not even sitting on the organ until I get that check. And I don't even have to be good. It's just the fact that you asked me.
You know, I was talking to my daughter about this very same thing. Because, like, I believe both of us grew up. We grew up where we were committed to our home church. We didn't get paid. We weren't professional musicians because we were loyal to our home church. We wasn't looking for nothing, you know. We didn't look for no offering or nothing. We just went, we served there, you know, and especially if we were still feeling our way as far as like learning and was inexperienced, we served there. But this day and time, people aren't serving. Like, this is a huge, I don't even know how to properly slice this topic. But that's where I served. That's where I didn't ask for a gift or anything. But when I started playing professionally, I started getting hired for pay, play for hire or whatever. And so, but then I joined my church. I'm not gonna say you don't have to pay me now because I came in as a pay for hire situation. But there are a lot of musicians who aren't at that level of experience. Like, I have 26 years of experience under my belt. Plus, I paid my dues with serving. People aren't at that level. They want to walk in and ask for, you know, like $600-$700. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, there needs to be some conversations, some mentoring, and all of that going on, because, and then like pastors is like, are you crazy? Now some pastors they just, I'm not, let me change the subject. Let me not go.
No, this is what they want to talk about. This is what they want to hear.
Okay, but I find that because not only am I a musician, but I also have my own referral business where I refer musicians. So pastors call me, musicians call me when they come back from tour. Says, I'm back. What you got? You know, and I send them out and all that. So pastors call me, and it's like, I find that a lot of new pastors, they don't understand. Like, you know, their mindset is, yeah, if they're willing to grow with us, you know, maybe we'll be able to pay them.
Right.
Like,
as I grow, you grow.
What? So it's just like a lot of conversations. I don't know, a conference, a work. People have asked me to have a conference or workshop about it, but it's a lot of things that need to be taught, you know, to the musician and to the pastor concerning the musician. I have a passion for making sure that the musicians are properly handled, taken care of. I have a passion for that. Anytime I do anything, any concert, like for this Flip It concert, I have my musician stash already ready. I don't, you know, I'm not one of the ones that be like, oh, sorry, we didn't make the money at the door. We ain't got the bread. See me next week. Nah. I am a stickler to making sure that the musician is properly handled, taken care of. They have everything they need. Because I think it's important that we appreciate them, you know, and not just because I am, but I just really think that is important because we give out so much, you know, and it's just like, it's only right. I know I went through a lot of subjects.
No, you're good. I think a big deal with that too is that on the church's end, they're not taking care of the musicians. They're not home-growing musicians. So, like, in my church, I was the first generation of musicians to get paid at my church. And we've had great musicians between my Uncle Byron Wood, Jamar Jones, and all these people. All these great musicians served at my church and never got paid. So it wasn't until I was there and I had to leave to go somewhere else to get paid till it clicked to them, like, we need to start rethinking of how we're going to deal with musicians. You know what I mean? And I think like a lot of the great. One thing I learned even from when I was traveling, especially down south to churches, and I heard these great musicians in the church, and I'm like, yo, how come y'all not on tour? Blah blah blah. This is when I was young and naive, and they're like, tour for what? Like, my church take care of me. Like, I don't have to go. I'm home every night. You know what I'm saying? Like, my wife is happy. I'm home every night. I don't have to go on tour. And it didn't click. Like, wow. Like, we take such pride in Philly musicians being on TV every night, stuff like that. But the main reason why is because the church doesn't take care of them. Like,
that's true.
Like, other cities, they don't have to be on tour. Not because they're not good. It's because they prefer being home every night because they have the liberty to say, I don't have to go on the road. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And it didn't take me getting, like, older to realize, like, I mean, touring was cool when I was young and didn't have any responsibilities. But when you get older, you got responsibilities, you got wives and kids and all that.
Right.
You got to budget your time right. Like, it's cool if you want to be on TV. Like, that's more for people who don't really have responsibilities. When you got to take care of stuff, being home matters, which means if I'm going to invest this time into a church, it kind of has to be worth my while. And I think churches, it would do them justice to, you know, if they see young people interested, to give them lessons, to get, because that'll cut down on years of having to pay somebody $700
invest
a week.
in them. Yeah, absolutely.
Loyalty right here. And I'm saying every time it's not going to be, you know, the pastor's son or the bishop's grandson that's playing. Sometimes you might, you know what I mean, somebody might be interested. You got to cultivate them before somebody snatches them up. And then you got to pay Ray who playing C and C sharp $350 a Sunday.
Right.
And it's all he want to do is shout all day, but can't play songs. And it's just like, you wonder, like, why are we in this predicament of, you know, not having musicians?
That's true.
Most of the time, you don't grow the musicians. You don't cultivate the ones you have, and then the ones you do have, you let them go for somebody else, you know, who's paying more.
Right.
And it's a shame.
That is so true. It's funny you should say that about touring. A lot of the young people though, they do. Their dream is to go on tour. Like, but I remember when I went on tour, I went as I was young too. Back in '97, I went overseas to Germany, Switzerland, Austria, Paris, and Italy. And I was on tour for 3 weeks. Let me tell you, by the time I got to day 4, day 3, I was like, oh my God, I want to go home. I wanted to go home. It was just like I had just got married, and my daughter was like 10 months. And I was just like, oh my God. Like, I know that, like, I know now I have to travel for what I do. But that long span, I can't do. So I was just like, I am the church music, the home musician, and I'll go out, you know, every now and then.
Spot dates.
Absolutely. It's not, that touring situation is not for me. I can't do it. But some young people, and I think until they actually experience it, they might, you know, change their mind, you know, after they've done it for a while. But like all of that moving around, the luggage, and but I mean, I'm not trying to shatter nobody's dream.
No, but look, we trying to bring realness on this podcast.
Yeah, but that's an interesting point. If the churches were able to take care of the musicians, you know, they probably wouldn't want to go on tour. And I'm grateful to say that my church takes good care of me. And you know, I've been there. It'll be 10 years that I've been there. This coming February. And I just hired my daughter to work with the youth and young adult choir. So I have one Sunday off a month, so I can go out once a month if I want to. So, but yeah, I'm grateful to the Lord for that. But yeah, and I thank God for a church that understands that they have to take care of a musician if they want a good music ministry.
Yeah.
You know.
If they want to save some dollars in their pocket also. Mm-hmm. Because ain't nothing worse than paying beneath your means, paying somebody who you really don't got a vibe